Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
All right, what's up, Sky Squad? We are back in the building, and today we got quite an ensemble for you guys. We got Nia and Noria Dorsey from Basketball Wives, and we got Miss Conversation Piece, also known as the infamous V, okay? And we'll talk about me. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, you guys know that I also used to work with V back at AfterBuzz. So that's how we first met. From all of you came from Memphis and got to LA. What was that? How did we get to this point here?
Starting with these two.
Okay, well,
Conversation Piece. Yeah.
I met Miss Conversation Piece with through one of my old managers back in 2016, like January, and she was just cool. And then I moved to LA June 2016, and we started hanging out and stuff. And every time I had like events or like, cause I never wanted to go anywhere by myself, especially on sets. She would come and she'll be supportive. She'll be there for me, and she invited me to things like that, and we just became good friends. Okay,
and for you. V, I gotta call you V at this point.
You gotta call me V now.
I feel like that's
my name.
That's what you're known as in this instance. What was your impression when you first met Nia?
Well, I met Nia and I instantly took to her because anybody that's from the city, I'm gonna show love to automatically. And I was introduced to her to somebody that I knew, and that he was working with her, and he told me to get to know her. And so I did. Her vibe was cool. So I continued to work with her. I saw that she was a hard worker. She had businesses, and I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I really liked that about her, that she was, modeling and still being a professional model, because a lot of these girls out here are really thoughts. And, it is what it is. Get it how you live. But I picked up on that from Nia, that she respected herself and wanted to make a name in the industry for herself in a way that showcased her talent and not just who she was dating.
And so I want to kind of give two bits of explanation here. So Nia, you were more on the modeling tip and, working in that capacity. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was modeling and acting. In 2016, I was in a movie called All Eyes on Me. And then when I moved to LA, I ended up doing a movie with Master P. Then I started doing more videos, and I did some TV shows with Nick Cannon, and just the list goes on. And modeling work, print work, brands, and all this stuff like that.
So how you guys began to work together, in what capacity? And sort of tell people about the work that you're doing now, because I want them to get an idea of, you're not just into journalism. You're also expanding into other areas as well.
Yes, so as a journalist, I have been dabbling in the publicity side. I actually work for a major PR firm in Los Angeles, California. And so seeing Nia try to get started in Los Angeles, with my connections, I was able to, assist her and also my other clients in various ways that may help them, increase awareness of their brands, connect them to clients, like Jackie from the Basketball Wives was a client of hers for her desserts. She's had several, celebrity clients out here that have bought her cheesecakes, and, just making those introductions, doing events as well. So event planning and publicity is in my repertoire as well. But I am a journalist as well as acting, I'm saying actress as well. But my true nature, what I love to do is to interview people.
Yeah, when I first met you, I always admired your hustle, because I felt like you made me feel lazy, to be quite honest with you. I was just like, she is all over the place, and I always loved that. And so, Noria, how did you come into the picture? Were you back in Memphis all this time, or did you guys come out here together?
Well, she actually ventured out first. I was back and forth overseas living, and when I finally came back to the States and planted roots here, that's when we started trying to do a business together, and I would fly back and forth to LA to visit her while she was living out there. And then, of course, when Basketball Wives came around, she plugged me in, and we both ended up moving out there together. And I also, while we're out there together, we've been doing our entrepreneurship joint business ventures together as well. And also, we've been doing some stuff on the sidelines individually as well.
And so you're still married, correct?
Yes, I'm still married.
Okay, cool. Because I think a lot of people didn't necessarily pick up on the fact that you're married, and so this is your introduction into Basketball Wives, you know. So it makes sense. And so then, Nia, you actually had the genuine connection with Jackie from what I'm understanding from Miss Conversation piece. Is that correct?
Yes, we just got through talking last night. We talk all the time. That's my girl.
Okay, because see, I guess when we were watching the show, for me, I started to wonder, I was like, well, why did Jackie bring them in if they knew OG first? So I guess, can you guys clarify that?
Well, my sister never met OG until we got there. She's never spoken to OG.
I didn't know she was on the show, actually.
Yeah, we didn't know OG was still gonna be on the show, because I remember like a year
we
before.
thought she was being replaced, actually.
Well, they told us that it was gonna be a lot of
replacing
stuff. Originally, in the beginning, they said that they were getting rid of some old cast members and stuff like that. But then when the pandemic happened, a lot of things changed, from my knowledge. We didn't know she was still on there, because I remember like in the blogs, I seen the situation between her and Evelyn or something. And then they were saying that she wasn't going to be back or something. So, you know, I don't speak to her. I don't know who's going to be there. All I know is when I show up, I see who I see.
Yeah.
So, when it came to OG, it was back in the summer of 2019. I ended up getting 2 missed calls from V. So when I called V back, she was like, oh, I'm out to eat with OG, and she wanted to speak to you. We were talking and stuff, you know, after, I think they did like some interviews or something. That's how they met. And they were talking on lunch, and she was like, you know, I guess they got on the subject of the show. She was like, yeah, I got a friend that dates Lance. Because at that time, I was still dating Lance. And so she gave her the phone, and OG seemed really nice. She was in the camera smiling, and she asked me how I was doing and stuff like that. So yeah, when she got on the phone, she was just like, hey, you know, she introduced herself, I introduced myself, and she was like, you know, I heard that you date Lance. And I was like, yeah, I do date Lance. She was like, well, I don't like Feby. Did she say she hate that? She was like, I hate that because she said that they had almost got to fighting, that they didn't show it on camera, but they almost got to fighting or whatever like that. And she was like, that shit's been talking shit about me, and I want to know if you can come on a reunion, if you got some tea on her, and we could blast that or whatever like that. And I was like laughing at it, because I was like, you know, I do know a little something. So I told her I'd let her know or something like that. So I had went home. I even told Lance's friend. I told my parents, and I was like, you know, she hit me up about this, and they was like, hell no. Like, you know, I was just thinking, I was like, to me, you know, because the year before, I had the opportunity come my way when I was dating Lance to be on the show. And I told Lance and everything, because this is not the first opportunity I had. I had Love and Hip Hop come to me to do New York, and they wanted me and Lance on there. And Lance was like, I can do it, but he was like, I'm not sure if that'll be good for my career, because I'm still playing. I don't want it to jeopardize my career. So I said, okay, but I didn't end up doing it. Thank God, but I didn't end up doing it or whatever. So when the opportunity came for Basketball Wives, I just was like, I don't know. You know, when you're in love, you just feel like, I'm trying to be loyal. I don't want to, you know, I don't know, this might be sketchy. So I declined. And then I saw that they ended up going, I guess they went with the baby moms or something like that. And then, you know, you have people say, you know, you should have took your opportunity. You know, this is your career. You don't let stuff pass you up, especially for no guy and stuff like that. So then that summer, yeah, because she went off on me. You know, I was so shaky then.
I didn't know why she didn't.
I was so shaky.
Yeah.
I was so shaky because I just be like, no, I'm loyal, or whatever. But, you know, dudes you break up and they go about their life. And then what you left with. So in the summer when, that following summer when B called me or whatever, and I went and told my parents and everybody, I was like, they was like, no, hell no. His friend was like, hell no.
Well, when I initially called her, it was nothing like even me and not Feby, the OG girl. I didn't even talk to her about like bringing Nia on the show. I just thought it was funny because she was beefing with Feby on the show, and I know Nia in real life, and she dated that. So I thought it was funny. That's why I brought it up. I was like, yeah, my friend date Lance, and that's when she was like, call. So it was never like anything about my Nia wanting to be on the show. I just was calling her just like, girl, I'm over here with OG. This shit funny as hell. Like, she just went off on Feby. And I was just really trying to tell Nia that. And then OG was like, well, shit, we'll really bring her on the show. And I was like, oh, well, let me call her and see if she want to do it.
The way it came to me is though, when her tone, whatever went on with her and Feby, they had a beef. So to me, she was just like, she wanted, to have somebody that was gonna have her back or whatever. And then to me, I looked at this though, I worked so hard for my career, the things that I had. I would never want someone to bring me somewhere and make me look crazy, because you don't know how they're gonna do stuff. You don't know how they're gonna edit stuff. You come on there in a reunion and you be sitting in the audience or something and talk, and then they're gonna, I might get clowned. They might all try to jump on me or something like. So I when B hit me up, she hit me up a couple times, like, they want to know what you're gonna do, and then they were like, they wanted me to fly out there. So you want me to come fly myself out there,
pay for your own ticket,
get no check? Like, I'm not gonna get paid. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I would get on TV and I'd probably be the laughing stock or whatever. So I told her, tell her no. And that was just that on that. I heard nothing else about it. I heard nothing else about OG or anything. And that had to been like August, September, something like that. Of what year? 2019.
Okay, because I was gonna ask that question. So let me see if I could put some things together real quick, because I kind of think I have a better understanding of the timeline now. So you and Lance are dating. This is what, 2019?
Mm-hmm. From 2017 to 2019.
Okay, and so at some point in time between then, network or producers, kind of find out about you guys and ask you to do Love and Hip Hop New York.
Yeah.
What time frame was that?
That had to been 2018.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So that happens and you're kind of like, I don't know about it. Mm-hmm. And Noria's like, girl, take your shot.
No. Not Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop came to me first. I declined that because Lance wasn't gonna do that. Then a year later, I had somebody from Basketball Wives reach out to me. And then that Noria was like, why would you pass it up for him? Like, why you being loyal to him like that?
Gotcha.
And then after OG had came to me about the
how many months past that?
This was in 2019.
That was in 2000.
Yeah. So that was like probably like 7, 8 months after that came to me the first time. So OG had hit me up about the reunion. I declined. 2 months later, the same opportunity came back again with Basketball Wives. So, I stopped talking to Lance by then. So I was like, well, shit, what I got to lose? Like, forget him, I'm not with him. I don't owe him nothing now. So obviously if he came back again, it must be meant for me. So I went ahead and was going through my process. My sister, my family, nobody knew. I kept it to myself.
We also had another member that she brought along.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. But my thing is, I didn't tell nobody because when I do stuff, I don't want nobody to jinx anything. I don't want nobody's opinion. So I went ahead and I signed my contract, and they said they liked me so much. They wanted to know, did I have any friends, anybody that I could have with me? Like, just to sit down and talk, just when I have my scene. So I'm like, well, I got some friends. They didn't too much like some of them. And I was like, well, I got my sister. And then, because, my sister doesn't do stuff like that.
I'm more private.
So they like my sister and my other friend, and it was me. It was 3 of us. It was me, my friend, and my sister. And we signed our contracts, and they was like, all 3 of y'all are castmates. We like y'all so much, we want to bring y'all on, or whatever like that. And that's how that went about.
So what happened to the other person? They just didn't pan out?
We ended up filming in the beginning of the pandemic with her, but she ended up getting in a new relationship, and she wanted to respect her new relationship.
Gotcha. Okay. Understandable. So just from this is all new to me, and I think to many of the viewers watching that it sounds like you've been in talks for this for quite some time.
Yes.
And possibly even around the same time that Feby was being introduced as well. So because the way it seems, the way it reads on camera right now, like, oh, you were brought in specifically to address the Feby situation, when quite honestly, you could have been there before her.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, when that happened, I was like, that was my shit.
We seen it, we were like, they picked her because they couldn't get you.
Wow.
So to me, as you can see like some people don't look like they really fit. So I was just like, that's what you get.
That was shade.
When you let opportunity pass you up, you don't let opportunity pass you up. And when it comes back again, you better be prepared. So I was prepared the next time.
It did come back in it,
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry. My mind is a little blown right now because none of this had occurred to me. None of this had occurred to me before, but I thank you for clearing that up. And I think that people listening to this and watching this this will resonate with them because we didn't know that bit of information before. And so you guys were set, you were set to film before the pandemic, right?
We were filming before.
Okay.
We hadn't met,
we filmed from January to March.
We haven't met really, we didn't get a chance to meet the other ladies because they were just really filming us and my businesses and stuff. And then the pandemic happened. And we were supposed to shut down for like a week, then 2 weeks, and then it was like, we don't even know if we're gonna have a show. So we didn't know anything. We were just quarantining. We didn't think we was gonna have a show at all. Like it was just, nobody knew nothing because they had restrictions on filming in LA.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay, so then filming picks back up, and you guys are headed to the house. When you walk in, because on the camera, at least, it looked like you and OG did not know each other.
Oh. Okay, this is what happened.
Okay, so Noria, you didn't know her.
No, that's my first time.
Yeah, that was my first time.
Okay.
So this is what happened with that. So, 2019, she had V call me on FaceTime to bring me on the reunion. I declined. That's 2019.
Okay.
And we're fast forwarding all the way until had to been like October. No. October 2020. Yeah. Production, we had to do a Zoom call. I was late to the Zoom call because they were all hitting me up like, Nia, where are you? She's hitting me like, they're looking for you. You're not on the Zoom call. So I called a couple people because I'm not able to get in the Zoom call, finally getting the Zoom call. I'm talking, we get off. I didn't know any other people on the Zoom call. I just thought it was me, my sister, and the woman that was telling us the protocols about how to quarantine and all of that because we're gonna film. And they filmed us at our house and stuff. So all of a sudden, I get 2 missed calls from a blocked number. My mom is sitting right there next to me because we're talking about the Zoom call. So, somebody calling you private, you're not gonna answer the first call because you're like, I don't know who this is. So when I answered the second call, I'm from Memphis, so I had a little attitude because you don't know if somebody playing on your phone. So I'm like, hello, and the phone was like, is this Nia? So I'm like, oh, okay, somebody playing on my phone. And I was like, who is this? And she was like, hi, this is OG. She had a pleasant voice. She was like, hi, this is OG. I just wanted to tell you congratulations. I was on a Zoom call and I heard your voice. And she was like, I did not know that you was a castmate. And I just want to tell you congratulations. And in my head, I'm like, how did OG get my number? Because I've never given OG my number. I don't know how she got my number. So I ended up later on asking B or whatever, and she told me because a year before, OG's PR guy, after they had that conversation at the restaurant, she gave him my number because they wanted my number. So she told me she had my number. She said, I had your number all this time. I just never reached out to you. And we talked a little bit. And she was like, I wonder why nobody ever told me that, you know, who the new people were. Like, I wonder why they never told me. You could have filmed with me. And she said something in a sense as though she felt like, ugh. It's like she was getting mad about production or something. And I didn't understand why she was saying what she was saying, but she was like, I wonder why they didn't have you shoot with me. And so we talked, and then that's when I told her.
Because she's not a big dog. I don't know why. But.
Anyways, that's when I told her that, oh, well, I have my sister on there and my friend. She was like, you have your sister on there? So I think that was a shocker to her, like, okay, there's more. It's like, it's more with you or whatever. And then she was like, okay, well, great. And she was like, you seem very cool. She asked me what was my zodiac sign, my birth time, and all of that.
Which is strange.
Shh. I don't need a cosign.
My bad. But I'm irritated.
Okay, you gonna have your time, Noria. Let me finish. Okay.
What is going on?
Anyways, so,
Y'all funny.
Because I'm trying to remember everything. So anyways, yeah, so she ended up, you know, asking me for my birth information and all that. And there's another castmate, she told this too. I'm not gonna give that castmate's name, but the castmate told me that she said that she said she did say she was calling you. She told me that she did ask for your birth stuff. And I asked her, why is she talking and asking you those questions? She said, if I'm confiding in you about things, do not judge me. It's what she told the other castmate. And then that castmate said, do not be talking to her to persuade her. Let her get here and see things for herself. That's what all I'm gonna say that this other castmate told me. So OG called me another day. We talked a little bit and she gave me her number. I guess she felt like she could trust me then or something. And she gave me her contact number. So when production came to our house in Memphis to film us, we did a Zoom call with Jackie we did like a little interview on her show or something, podcast. And so she was telling us that we was gonna be in her house. And OG had kind of told me that. She was like, you're probably gonna be with us. She had already kind of spilled those beans to me or whatever. But Jackie told me that we were gonna be in her house and that she was gonna have OG and all. She was like, I'm gonna introduce you to those ladies. And I told her, I said, oh, I've met her before. You know, just to let her know, like, oh, I've met her before. And that's how that text message came about October the 15th, when the next day after filming at my house, they texted and they said, how did you know OG? Because we saw yesterday in the Zoom call, the podcast with Jackie, you said, oh, I've met her before. So they didn't know about that. Production didn't know. They didn't never know that I knew her. I never mentioned her, nothing. I just said that on the Zoom call, you know, just in case we go to the mansion and she introduces us and we already know each other, it won't seem so awkward.
Okay.
So I sent the text message to OG, you know, just to show that they had said something to me, just to let her know they said something to me about it. Perfectly fine. You see, in the text message, she says nothing. She puts laugh out loud. He asked this twice or whatever. And so I called her, you know, just to let her know what happened. We stayed on the phone for like 30-something, we stayed on the phone for however long she posted it on October 15th. And as you can see on October 15th, my text is sent earlier than the time that I called. So how can you say somebody called? How could I text you? She didn't make any sense with her allegations of what she said went down. We stayed on the phone for so long. I was at the nail shop. I went to the nail shop. I left the nail shop. That's how long we was on the phone. She told me so much tea about the other ladies. As I spilled in the conversation between me and B. And she told me, but I still want you to get to know them and I want you to get to know me as well. Like, I don't want you to take any sides or whatever. Which I wasn't. I was, you know, I really had her back. But I was like, I'm still gonna see when I get there. And then we didn't talk no more until we met when we filmed. When we met, we hugged, hey girl, whatever like that. But we really didn't go all into depth with it. I even have a text message in my phone when I talked to one of the producers when she had asked, we asked right there, should we talk about us knowing that we met each other? She asked the woman that. So it's like, I don't know why she's sitting here playing.
She's a pathological liar. She lied. Lies. Stop lying, especially on me. I don't know who you think you're playing with. But
because we have it all on, and we have everything on camera. They just didn't show it.
We don't care. Don't play with me.
So we didn't really, and that's something that I wish we would have seen. Because then when she does bring up the fact that you guys have had a conversation about the Feby and Lance situation, it would not have come as such a shock to us as the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to come off as a shock. That's what they want.
And I kind of see that aspect of it now. So
because I never wanted to bring Feby and Lance up the whole time. She didn't at all. OG kept trying to make me talk about it, and I kept telling them, I got an attitude the whole time. I was like, I don't want to talk about them because to me, if I feel like people are irrelevant, I got all this going on for me. Why would I want to boost them up and make them seem like I'm worried about them? I don't want to talk about them. But you gotta talk. No, I don't. If I say I date, that's why when Malaysia and them ex me, I was so tired of being exed. That's why I just sat there and was like this, because I'm like, I do not want to say this man's name. Because in real life, when I dated him, I didn't tell people that. I didn't go around telling people who I was dating. I keep my business very private. But when they asked me, it was like, here we go. Because I don't want to be known for who I dated. I want to be known for who I am. Before I met Lance, I had so much going on. That's why he dated me. So I want to be known for who I am. And yes, that's a thing of the past. But, you know.
So, yeah, because I think on the show, it looked odd that Malaysia all of a sudden knew who you had dated before, when it seemed like it had never come up.
They didn't know.
They didn't.
That was their first time.
That was their first time. But you gotta
okay.
They know that you gotta ask because they know you ain't sitting here for no reason.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. So I want to just ask one more question, and I know you don't want to talk about him no more, but the situation with Feby, because she brought up a video or something earlier in the season. What was that about?
Okay, first off, I don't know if people doing stuff because they on TV or whatever, but I never seen Feby no video. I've never even hit Feby up from a fake page. When I was in a relationship with Lance, Feby wasn't really a factor. Lance has 3 baby mamas. Feby is the second one. The one I had the beef with was the third one. That was the one that we had a situation about, that I might have had some situations with. When Feby came about, Feby tried to, me and Lance was living in a house together. So when I wasn't there, Feby went and visited. I had something in my phone that was out of his phone that I saw. Feby was in the house. First time or second time, that was her second time. It was a new home. He never really let her come around and stuff like that. So, you know, she feel like if she can't come with the kids, then she ain't gonna let the kids come. So when she came, I saw on her, you know, me and him was arguing about something. And you know how men are, they'll start arguing with you when they want to do something wrong. So I seen that she took a picture on the bathroom sink with her booty on the counter. So I'm like, okay, this girl don't never come to this house, but she at this house. Okay, she's showing the house off, then she writes in the middle of the night, there's no place like home. It's like doing backflips on a touchdown. That sounds like sex, don't it? So me and him was going back on the phone, whatever like that, you know, FaceTime me, but you just never know. So I was like, is this picture of her? It was a girl getting hit from behind. He was like, nah, that ain't her. No, he didn't say no, it wasn't her. He was just like, I said, cause I'm finna ask her. He was like, ask her. You know, like, I don't care, ask her. So when he saw that I really was gonna ask her, he tried to tell me, no, that isn't her. You're gonna be stupid if you ask her that. But you never know if he's trying to deflect. So if you feel like your man is doing something with somebody, what woman wouldn't ask the next woman? Just so I can know what I need to do with him. So I DM'd her and I asked her, was this her? So she was like, no, but how do you know me? And I told her, I know you through Lance. And she was like, oh, laugh aloud. But when I get back to the house, I'm gonna make sure that I make one for you. you know. So I didn't never come in her hostile or nothing. I said, does she want to play? Let's play. So I said, oh, that's cool because I seen your videos. I don't mind looking at your videos. You know what I'm saying? Man, we need to have a little play day, being petty. She wrote back and she said, oh, he don't like me to share my with nobody. I can't say the same for you. So I said, oh, you sure? Because he told me you shared it with over 30 niggas. And she blocked me. And that was just that on that. That was just that on that.
So y'all pretty much had like a petty interaction.
We wasn't, bitch, I'm finna get your ass. It was nothing like that.
Okay. Cause the camera and what we saw seemed like, I mean, it was like this whole situation. So I'm glad you clarified that. I want to ask Noria, what was the vibe when you got to Jackie's house? How did you, because it seemed like, you know, what I was loving in the moment was, I was like, oh, y'all got OG to open up. Like these other women hadn't been able to do that. But even aside from her, what was the vibe for you guys throughout the experience that you were there?
Well, when I first got there, they welcomed us with open arms. It was like really nice. Spirits were up. And then, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm a real big energy reader. So I was kind of quiet like the first couple of days, and I'm not gonna lie, her energy was off to me. Like I looked at Jen was bubbly, and Jackie was bubbly, and she just wasn't bubbly. She just wasn't here. It was like she didn't want to really be there, to be honest. And while we were there, we were trying to be nice, cordial. We tried to mingle with the girls. We tried to get to know the girls, and she only opened up just that little bit at the table. And I think she only did that for me outside looking in as a calculation type of thing. When she knew cameras are all on her, let me go ahead and use this scene to milk it as much as I can. And let me go ahead and be vulnerable in this one scene that I'm gonna give y'all. So
no tears.
With no tears. So when I finally got the interaction with her one-on-one, that's how I knew she was a liar. Me and her had a one-on-one in the kitchen. And they didn't put that on the show. And when we were downstairs cooking, we were, you know, exchanging information. I was telling her about my husband. She was telling me about her spouse or whatever. And she asked where my husband played. And I told her he played in Qatar. He played for like a couple of years out there. And she was like, oh, I love Qatar. My man played out there, blah, blah, blah. How you join the Wives Club? And I'm like, looking at her like, there's no Wives Club. But I just went along with it. And that's how I knew she was lying in with that first lie, because over there it's a Muslim country. They don't believe in their women, you know, out there mingling and all this stuff like that. It's very, very strict out there. Like they're women at home, they have multiple wives, like they treat the women very good, but you know, they don't have society for them like that.
American.
And well, not Americans, they don't have that. I'm telling you, I've been out there. I lived out there for like 5 years pretty much. So they don't have it. So that's how I knew the first lie. And I was like, okay, this girl's a liar. When I first seen that scene. Then after I said, okay, let me keep an eye on her and watch her. Then I didn't like how she kept coming at my sister. It was like every scene, every chance she got, she kept asking her about Feby.
Or I could never talk, like when we tried to plug in our business, she would cut us off. This is what really went on.
I wasn't done talking.
Hold up. She took over every conversation.
She like take over. That is saying a little bit.
No,
the same. But like I was saying, she is just the type of person that she likes to take over. She likes full control. She wants it her way. Even when we had her Nigerian dinner, I was gonna sit next to my sister. I realized she was like, no, you sit here. And I looked like this and I was like, oh, okay, you real. She's like, I have placements for everything, how I want things. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm sitting next to her and me and Nia are sitting across from each other. So that's when I knew she had a control issue as well. So I'm like, okay, I don't like her. She's too bossy, she's too condescending. Then I watched how she was with the staff. She was rude. When I say rude. First day shooting, she didn't show up to 3-4 hours later.
We had to wait a whole hour, and they was like,
to the point where we waited so long, they sent us back to another set. They sent us back because she took too long to come.
It was like they had to wait on her in the feet. They were so scared. It was just,
Yeah, it was a lot. We had COVID officer there that we had to do testing like every 2 to 3 days. Staff, everybody. Everybody didn't have a problem.
She took her chair.
Oh, I'm getting there. And she had them go get another COVID officer because she didn't like how the COVID officer was rubbing everybody else's noses. Like extra stuff like that. Like extra
when
stuff.
I say,
and then
everybody's conversation.
And then what did it for me was when we got into the argument, and the reason why I snatched into her the way I did was she took my chair earlier that night. She didn't show that recording. And they didn't show that.
She didn't leak that recording of when we said something about the chair.
Or the recording when I let into her ass. Either, hopefully she might have that. But she took my chair. Me and my sister were having a conversation downstairs.
No, it was all four of the ladies, Jackie, Jen, me, her, we're sitting downstairs.
And I went to get up, me and her went to get up, go in the kitchen to fix something to drink. When I came back, she was sitting in my chair, in my belongings.
She pushed her belongings
out
of the way. You leave stuff out, just leave it.
I'm trying to get there, you beat me to it. I hope you put this in here, this sister thing, because she likes to take
I am. Because listen.
Leaving stuff out.
I'm trying to get there.
If y'all on the show next season, I want to see this.
We didn't get a chance to get bad because we were too busy handling other people. But she took my chair. When I say she pushed my belongings, my phone, my stuff, and pushed it. And when I came into her, I said something to her. She had a nasty attitude. She was like, "This is my chair. I'm not moving." And all
she said, "It's life. Get over it."
When I tell you, I want to drag her ass out that chair. But
me too. Drag her.
I was like, you know what? I'm on this show. I can't lose my bag, my coin for this woman. I'm here for bigger and better things. So I looked at her. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna let you have it." I mean, I didn't know we were playing musical chairs, so let's do this. So later on that night, I guess Malaysia and Christian came over, had a conversation. That whole situation that y'all seen on TV where she called everybody a colorist, basically. When she came back, that's when Nia asked her the question. And I didn't like how she returned her message back to me. I didn't like the tone, and I was just over it by then. Before I knew it, I just started popping off, and we just started going at it, and I called her like 5. And she told me she was gonna finish me, and I told her she was gonna finish me then, and all this other stuff, and then she finished it.
But what the question, I wasn't asking her a question. I was talking to Jackie. And one thing I didn't like that OG did, because it's all about respect. It's all about respect. We're all women. It was like everything, this is her show. Everything had to be, she was placing everybody where they wanted to sit. She always wanted to sit like right in the middle of the head or something. Like production was like, this is Jackie's seat. So when Jackie come out, this is Jackie's seat or whatever like that. Because, you know, Jackie the OG or whatever. So when OG said, we were already sitting there and OG came out and Jackie, I was like, I'm like, make sure you get your seat or whatever. No, Jackie, sit right here.
She tried to move Jackie.
And Jackie sat down because Jackie had her back. Jackie had that woman's back the whole time. So, Jackie know that she really needs somebody. She don't got nobody. So she, she's trying to be there. She's trying to ride for her. So she said, then I was like, that production was like, that was your seat or whatever. Like, and she was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go sit over here. And I just was like, she was just so controlling. Everybody's conversation, she kept trying to get in. When Jackie and Jen was supposed to be sitting there talking, and OG was supposed to be helping us cook the food in the kitchen, she left us in the kitchen, didn't cook the food, and went out there and was all in their conversation. She got in everybody's scene. She took over the whole conversation. She wanted it to be how she wanted it to be. We could never talk. Every time we want to talk about something, she'll cut us off. If we want to talk, I just wish people would like, it's like, dang, she was trying to make people feel like they children. And when I was sitting on when she took her chair, that situation really blew me because I seen when she came. If you see somebody's stuff sitting somewhere, she took her stuff, moved it out the way, and sat down.
Yeah, I didn't see that part.
And so I waited because I wasn't finna let my sister come over there by herself. And I sit down first, and she come over by herself and be faced with that like that. So no, I said I'm gonna walk over there I'm gonna walk back with my sister. And I was like, that was her chair. Why would you take her chair like that? Well, it's my chair now. And I said, well, OG, that's rude. That's life, like that. And it's like, come on now, we not 10. Like, we're trying to work here with you. We're trying to get everybody.
I love my kids.
Our daddy just died. We're trying to have something to just relieve and have a good time.
And what really surprised me about the way that she was treating my friends and how she was acting is I did an interview with her and I asked her a question. I said, what was the hardest thing for you to get through this season? And do you know what OG told me? She said that dealing with the death of her brother really tore her apart. And I thought that she would have compassion and that she would have understanding for what they were going through. And for her to say that was the hardest thing for her to get through the entire season, and for her to treat them the way that she treated them when, you know, I introduced her, you know, in a friendly way to each other. And then for her to be on the show and it's supposed to be about sisterhood, and for her to actually go through that same experience to treat them that way, she's not a good person.
Even now that she's putting out these lies, my father is not here. I don't have the advice from my father like I normally do. I don't have the laughter he gives me. I don't have none of that. And you are putting these lies out because I'm a real person. I don't do lies. I'm not scared of nobody to lie about nobody or lie to nobody. And for you to attack me the way that you're doing, and I don't know why, when I came there, I had her back. I really thought those folks I'm like, these folks lying, this is that. But when I had to see, I felt so blind. I had to see her for who she was. In only 2 to 3 days, you attack us the way that you did. And then you going to the internet. This is my moment that I work hard for, that I'm putting my business out there for myself. And you're so evil because you want to tear down everybody else because whatever you're going through, and you put out these lies and you have these people coming to my page that I have my business on. You got people playing on my phone, whether it's her or whoever, playing on my phone, making threats and stuff. Like, who does that? Who does that?
Right. They all in my comments too, DMing me. It's not fair what she's doing because she has so many followers and her OG team OG, and they're coming to attack us, and then they want to turn it around and say, oh, she's a victim and you guys are calling her this and calling her that. No, that's the reaction you get when you play with somebody when they ain't playing with you. Don't play with us, because we came here to have your back and to just, you know, get to know women and have opportunities. You know what I mean? And I didn't have anything to do with it. So I don't know why she put my name on the blogs.
And then this is a thing too that I feel like we overlooked with her PR man. So me and OG, the first night, we're sitting at the table eating her Nigerian dinner. First off, she put out, see, this is the thing, like, first off, she's throwing out jabs. If you're a victim, why are you throwing out jabs, calling me a jump off and saying Jen is the useless one? But if somebody was to call you names, then you'll play victim and throw out labels. So you sit here, we're sitting here at the table, and then I was eating one of her plantains. It's my first time ever eating plantains. It was very hard. I tried to chew it. I'm not rude. I'm trying to chew her plantains and swallow. I couldn't swallow it. I couldn't breathe. So I took the napkin and put my plantain in the napkin. She stopped. Are you okay, Nia? So to me, I was like, why would she stop and ask me that when they could film that on camera? That's bringing attention to the situation. I was like, yeah, I was choking on the plantain. She said, oh, my bad. I had overcooked them and I left them out and they got hard, but I will recook you some more. I said, okay, that's fine. We never got to that point, but that was just that on that. But when we sat there at the table, she showed me a text of the guy Elton had texted her. She was like, what is he texting me for? And why he texting me something like this? And I read it. And I was like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? She was like, I don't know. I haven't worked with him in months because he didn't handle his business and signing his W-2 form. She was like, I'll talk to him later about it. So I automatically text V because he said V's name in there. And I'm like, what's going on? V texted me, oh, nothing. Just got done working or whatever. So the next day I had called V and I was like, why OG showed me a text message about the Elton guy saying that he just talked to you and that something about some beef between me and OG. We're sitting here having a pleasant conversation, eating food. So where did he make up something like this from? She was like, B, tell what happened.
Well, when that happened, he basically was my friend, right? In real life. And so I knew him because he introduced me to OG to interview her, which is what we do at AfterBuzz TV. We cover different shows, and Basketball Wives is my show. I was head host there. So when I hit him up to tell him about Nia, because me and Nia are friends in real life, and she told me, okay, I'm on the show, I'm gonna need your help. And I said, I got you, girl, like, you know, whatever. And so I was like, well, let me call Elton, because I'm gonna be working with the Basketball Wives now. And so let him know, because his client is OG. So I called him to fill him in. And he was like, oh, well, just because she's on the show doesn't mean she's gonna be there. She's only gonna be on one episode probably. And I'm like, no, like, she's a cast member. Like, I'm trying to explain to him, and then he's arguing with me back and forth. She's not gonna be like OG, and she's not gonna be a cast member. And
didn't he tell you that he didn't work for her no more?
Yeah, he was like, and basically, before he even said that, he was tearing you down and saying that you're not even gonna be on the show. And then he was like, well, it doesn't matter anyway because I don't work for OG. So, and then because I was just, you know, explaining to him like why I was calling him. I was like, well, I'm calling you because we're gonna be working together. And he's like, well, I don't even work with her anymore. So I was just like, wow. So I was defending my friend Nia because he kept saying, oh, she's only gonna be on one episode. She's gonna be, you know, an extra or whatever. And I was defending my friend, and that's why me and him got into it.
So I feel like after that, they had their argument is why he texted OG that and made up a lie saying, I heard you and V said, V just called me something about, I heard you and Nia got beef on Basketball Wives. So I'm like, how could that
so
be?
fake? Oh my God.
Sitting next to each other, having a good time. And I feel like, to be honest, God, honest truth. I feel like him doing that shifts something. Because when she came to the next day, it was different. I don't know if he got in her head and made something up. I don't know if they sat down and plotted something. All I know is I was so mad about that because I feel like that took away me and her really getting to know each other and turned it to this. Because you just never know with PRs. Sometimes people would come and make up stuff, oh, this could help us, or let me get back in, because maybe he wanted a job again.
Yeah, because he wasn't working with her no more. He probably was like, oh, this is my way to get my client back. You know what I mean? Like, he had some kind of ulterior motive. I don't know, like, why he took me and his argument to turn it into, oh, now Nia and OG can have beef. Because that's the stuff, you know, he probably made up in his head, because that wasn't the case at all. Like,
and then I sent her, when I hit V up, I sent her the text message like, I don't know what he's talking about, because this is what V said. She was like, okay, let's just keep, you know, make sure just keep stuff closed in or whatever. Like, it was no problem. But when I come the next day, it's like, I don't know, like, I just feel like he kind of, whatever, he messed that moment up. And I don't know that he's now back around her and he's putting stuff in her head, because you just never know. And now you see the outcome of this. So.
Would you guys go back to Basketball Wives for another season?
Yes, I would.
I would if she's not there. Because, I mean, the energy in there, she's the type of person, she'll take you all the way there. I understand why Evelyn was padding her stuff, because she's the type of person, she'll make you snap. She'll make you go there with her because she just lies a lot.
And you don't even want to go there with her because you don't. You want to have fun. Like, I want us to all be sisters, get along. And it really hurt my feelings the way OG lied on me and came for me for no reason. Like, why do we have beef? We like
for no reason.
Like, the thing is, in the argument part, they didn't show. Before we got on the Feby situation, we were telling her that we don't like how you're treating us. You're coming, like, they didn't show, but she kept coming to me on camera, like, bombarding me. We were in the kitchen. She comes up to me really fast. It's like she was fishing for something. She says, I never told the ladies on camera. I never told the ladies that me and you met before. But remember you told me that you met Feby and you fought her? Now, OG, you know I ain't told you nothing like that. So in my head, if somebody come to me with these words on camera, you trying to make me say something on camera that I didn't do. I said, I told you, I said, I've never met her before and I've never told you nothing like that. So that happened then. Like 10 minutes later, we go upstairs, we're not shooting right now. So me and my sister just sitting on the couch, just chilling. Jackie comes over there because right before then, OG, I was trying to plug in my business with my clothing line and stuff. She cuts me off in the conversation and she says, do you sew? I say, yes. Do you make your patterns? I make my patterns. I do this, I do that. And I'm like, dang, I can't even plug myself in.
All over her.
And so we go upstairs.
She was trying to shut you out.
Yeah, so Jackie, it was like she didn't want us to have no camera time. None. So Jackie was like, I just want to tell you that's a beautiful thing that you're doing with your business. And she's giving me these compliments. OG says, Jackie, come here. And she brings her in her room. And so next thing I know, her and Jackie come out, but she's like coming really fast at me. And she's trying to ask me questions again off camera and was like, didn't you say you met Evelyn?
Hold on. They took their mics off. Our mics were still on when this conversation happened. So she snuck and tried to do this behind everybody back doing some conniving, calculating.
She said, I got my...
Because I peeped her when she did it. But keep going.
Yeah, because if you can't say stuff on mic a certain way, they might want to bring that up or use that. Or you got to be careful now. So, but she took hers off and you didn't let me know to take mine off as you're asking me this question.
I was doing this while she having a conversation.
Yeah, my sister had to do this while we're talking.
Because I knew what she was doing, trying to get her to say whatever on the mic, but you can't hear what she's saying. Hers is not on.
Oh, she's so fake and
she's
conniving.
Real.
That's crazy.
So listen to this, y'all. So as she comes over there, she remember when you said you had talked to Evelyn? Didn't you say that you had met Feby and that you want to fight her to Evelyn? Now, OG, you and Evelyn don't even get along. So how would you even think to say something like this? I'm like, so now I feel like she's coming another angle to catch me off, because if you know something, you're gonna say it the way you know it. You're not gonna switch it up. So I was like, I have never said nothing. That's her friend. I ain't never talked shit to that girl about her friend. Like, that's crazy. I would be stupid to do that, and Evelyn can automatically go tell her I was talking shit about her. Like, that's common sense. So I was like, no, I have never said that. And I said, I'm tired of y'all asking me this. I said, Feby is not here. I don't want to talk shit about somebody that's not here, and I be portrayed as somebody I'm a bully. Now, if Feby is here and we are face to face and we have our own energy, then that's different. But I'm not going to talk about somebody who is not here to even defend themselves if we were face to face, like, since we're not face to face. So Jacob was like, yeah, you don't want to be thirsty. I said, exactly. So what I was told by someone that she got mad and was like, she's it up. She's it up. She's not going with the flow. She's it up.
Wait, so, who's effing it up?
Me is what OG told somebody after that situation.
Another castmate.
Yeah, that I was it up. I guess jealous. Whatever plan she had to, because she had beef with Feby and she wanted me to have beef and we go, I guess, attack her together. She was like, she's it up. She's not going with it. She's not going with the flow. She's not going with the flow. So she couldn't catch me to say, so I guess that was making her mad. So that's what I confronted her with downstairs. It was like, you told me not to talk on you and none of this stuff, but you're constantly asking me about something I told you I'm uncomfortable with talking about. So why are you constantly bringing this person up, but you don't want people to ask you questions?
And also touching on that same argument when we had at the end, I think OG was jealous at the fact that we had to sit down with Shaunie as well. Because when we had our own sit down with Shaunie in that conversation asked us how our experience was in the house with all of the ladies. It wasn't about OG. How they proceeded on TV, that conversation just wasn't about OG. It was about all the ladies. We touched base on each one of them just a little bit. And the only scene that they showed was Nia speaking about the situation, briefly about how she cried and everything else. So I felt like when we came back to the house and we told them, hey, this is what was said, because we're not the type of people to talk behind people's back. Anything we say, we're going to let you know exactly what we said. So Nia voiced, she let them know, hey, this is what we talked to Shaunie about. We touched on this, and this. And that's when OG got, she flipped. Like, she was like, don't speak for me. I don't need you talking for me. This is simple.
And it was longer rant.
I don't want you to talk for me. This is that and other. And I just let her have it because that was her little moment. I don't know her, so maybe she did feel some kind of way. I'm like, okay.
But I didn't like how she went on the rant with it. I'm sitting there like, I feel like my daddy and my mama is getting on my ass.
Right. So then the next day we get to another scene or whatever. She brings it up again in the kitchen. And this time, that's when you hear Nia say, I like your delivery better than today. But it was still in a condescending way. And then that
she got mad when I said that.
And when she got mad, and it still was in a condescending way, and in that same scene, they cut it out. They didn't see where I had said something smart back to her. And it probably might have made her mood towards me later on to decide to take my chair because she felt some kind of way. I felt like she was just jealous the whole time. And she just didn't like how we were moving within the group. And she wanted to control the whole situation within the group. And then when we had the conversation again, when we had our argument, when she was coming at my sister about her tone,
and I was coming at her very calm at
she
first.
wanted to bring that situation up again for the third or fourth time about Shaunie and lecture us again and scold us again. That's when I had it, because you're not gonna do that. You're not my mom. I'm not gonna play with you. I left my kids at the house. So, and that's when I said, are you gonna take accountability for how you did this, how you was a bully to me, how you talked to me any kind of way? She didn't want to hear it. So,
she don't want to. When it comes to OG, she's not going to admit anything that she does.
She's gonna deflect every time.
And I was
a liar
every time. Next thing you know, we arguing. I'm calling her and everything else. So next thing you know, instead of you taking ownership,
she was trying to fight. She was trying to fight my sister.
Instead of you taking ownership of what you said, and I'm popping you every which way, now you want to throw hands. Now you want to.
That's why I was telling her, she's trying to deflect because she's lying on me. Let me get these facts right. And y'all, if you see on the scene when we had our phones,
I did.
We had our phones because she was so. Let me tell you how butthole hurt she was, because she tried to sit here and lie. I called B right there on the phone. I said, we finna call right now. Oh, she was shocked. I called B. I said, he didn't even know what was going on. I just called, I said, hey, B, what happened? B said everything that happened. So production saw the whole truth. When I say they didn't show the whole thing, I don't know if they were trying to do it to OG's likeness, but OG was silent on that damn couch.
When Nia got done with her, when she finished her, OG was crawling in the corner of the
trying to get Jackie to listen to her.
Jackie with her phone like this. Jackie, please listen. Don't. Like this the whole time.
Quiet.
Yeah, I'm so mad COVID messed
me up. Quiet. When I say I stopped out, I'm doing all, I done twerked in this girl face.
Twerked in her face.
I done twerked in her face. I done stomped past her. She didn't do anything. I guess she just didn't expect it. But I was like, what you not gonna do? I'm not none of these other women up here at all. I play nice for a reason. But what you're not gonna do is play with me. And if you're gonna have that energy, I'm gonna give you the energy exactly how you have it back or more.
And then on top of that, for her to use the choice words, finish you. And I just poured my heart out to you in the scene before about my dad and we dealing with death and all this stuff like that. They let you know you have no empathy. You lack it.
She don't have no heart.
In the world that you would sit up here and treat people the way you're treating them after they're going through a process of grieving. And we supposed to be on vacation having a good time.
We could have had your back. We was gonna have this girl's back. That is what's so crazy. When I sat there with Shaunie and had that conversation with Shaunie, I was like this. Somebody lying up in here. I don't trust nobody. That's what I felt. I'm like, somebody lying, because OG ain't finna just, she ain't lying.
But you know what she did though?
But she is. She is a liar.
OG put everything on the table. When we first met her that night, and I knew she was full of it, when we sat there at that table, she spilled what she wanted to spill enough, but she wanted to taint us enough for the other ladies before we went over to that house. And then on top of that, she also gave us that story about her childhood situation to basically pull on the heartstrings of the audience pretty much and us at the table. So when you do stuff like that, and then you turn around and renege on everything that you said about womanhood and sisterhood and black this and black that, but you tearing everybody down. I'm watching you sit up here and tell, these girls came back and forth to this house to try to understand you, and you telling somebody to their face, oh, your features, you dismiss their color because their features look more European.
I really think she is the colorist, and that's the problem.
Yes, let me tell you something. Ethiopians have small noses, narrow facial structures and bone structures. Africans come in all shapes and sizes. I don't want to hear that. You got a problem. You sitting up here judging everybody off their skin tone, features, and looks.
And she brought
categorize
with the situation with Evelyn, because both of them were wrong. But she brought the race thing up first, because she told Evelyn, Chad wants to be with a black woman. No matter if you get cornrows, get your ass done, or whatever, you are not black. Now let's flip that if a white woman said that to one of us. So at the end of the day, she brought that up first. Now, if somebody say this and say that, you understand this. If you say something negative and somebody says something negative back, it's fair game. So you can't say something negative and then feel like your feelings are hurt when somebody says something negative back. It's fair game. Just hit harder, hit harder, tear their up, make them feel low, whatever. But you have to know that you can't throw jabs and not feel like jabs aren't going to come back to you. That's just how I feel.
Why didn't we get a reunion so that you guys could sit down and...
COVID messed everything up, man.
The real reason why I think there's not a reunion, I'm gonna be honest with you, because after we got done arguing with her, she didn't show up on set. She never returned. She never came back. Now, I don't know how.
No.
Well,
she didn't show up. She got scared.
She got scared.
Or
maybe she just didn't film with us.
She came back the next day. She did not. She was scared. She didn't show up. She came back the next day.
So she left the house?
Pretty much, and had to take a chill pill for a minute and then came back. She did come back. I
don't think it was a chill pill. I think
she was scared.
I think that she did not win, and she was like, I fucked up.
And then on top of that, I think she probably had a whole bitch fit with production, like, we don't need a reunion. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing but do the same thing again.
I just don't think we need a reunion because I don't think it's gonna be real good. I don't think it'll be real good at all.
No, I wouldn't, because I ain't gonna lie, we probably tested it up.
It's not gonna be real good because I don't have nothing else to say to her. What I don't deal with is narcissistic people.
Yeah.
I don't deal with people that lie like that. They're dangerous. When you are dangerous like that, it ain't nothing. It ain't you. No, I can't
lose everything
because you doing that for no reason. You just doing it for no reason. So
yeah, she been able to bully all these other girls because they were scared because y'all stood up for yourself. Now she's running to telling lies on you guys instead of, at first she was playing victim, like, oh, they're treating me like this because I'm dark skinned. Now she can't play that because we don't have that issue with you. We had your back. So now you got to come up with some lies, and that's exactly what she's doing.
Sabotage everyone in their career.
Yeah, because like off camera, I talked to Evelyn. She was in tears. Like she this is for real. Like ruining her life. Like she had death threats. She had to move. She's lost endorsement deals, lucrative businesses, that all this stuff is changing her life because of this woman.
Because you know this, everybody knows this because we see it all the time. If you throw racism or any of that on somebody, whether it's proven right or wrong, people automatically gonna do this. Oh, let me pull this on there. I can't be tied to that. I can't be tied to that. So why not throw that on somebody? Okay, we got into it and I ain't winning that argument. I ain't like what you said. Let me find another way that I can tear you all the way down where you can lose something. So I'm gonna throw this title on you. Because why not? We're in a prime state of that happening in the world right now.
Where people take everything to heart, and
people are dying. People are actually experiencing that, and I feel like OG is abusing it, and that's a hurtful thing too because there's people really dealing with this issue,
for real.
And you're playing with it because you're mad and arguing with females.
And being
now you can say
petty. You're being too petty, basically. You don't need to do that. This is a sensitive subject. We live in the South.
We have dealt with that.
We dealt with it where you done have been called an N-word or been spit at or, treated a certain kind of way. And you lived in California, okay? And your bloodline is pure.
Because she said she didn't have to deal with it like that. She never had to deal with somebody doing her like that.
And you lived in California. We mixed up. We don't know. We had to do an ancestry to find out who we are. We live in the South where you have Confederate statues still around, what you got to look at, and Confederate flags up and down.
And where you have to deal with real favoritism on your color, whether it's in your family, your school, relationships, whatever. You have to really deal with it. So it's like, we even shared that with her. We shared our experience and all of that when she had her dinner. They didn't show that, but we did sit down. We told her our experiences as well. That's why we was like, oh, we can relate. But when she said that, oh, somebody called her this and called her that, we was like, you ain't do, because, she seen the pop out, was like, you ain't do nothing? I don't know about that. Like, somebody called you that to your face and you didn't do nothing. And then when we go ask them, did they call her that to her face? They was like, we didn't call her that. We didn't say that to her.
But then when I asked her, whoever said it, she could never give me a name. I said, who said that to you? I can't say.
But you said Malaysia bleaches her skin. You're saying other things about women too. So how can you feel like it's okay to throw jabs and then you saying you're a victim?
she's so vindictive. I feel like she's been doing this for quite some time. This is just her character. Yeah. Like, and that's why I feel like, because I had her back too, you know, as a reviewer of the show. I definitely was like, no, OG, you know, everybody's against her. I was for the underdog. But now that I see behind the scenes, because I'm learning some stuff too, Richie, from listening to them, because they're not to divulge that information. And even though we were friends, you know, there were some things that I'm learning just now, just like you. So, yeah, I didn't know that all this was going on behind the scenes.
Black women trying to be there for a Black sister. And this is what our own Black sisters do, because we in the Black community, we gonna keep it real. We do that to each other.
And what makes me mad is the fact that you're screaming this to the top of your lungs for the last 2 years, right? And you're not doing anything to fix it. You're tearing it down, and we're on national TV, and we're predominantly a Black casted show. And you're taking this and dragging it and making us look so bad in the light that we don't need this. And we supposed to be elevated up right now.
Right. People are talking about cancel the show. It just needs to be done. This is giving people opportunities.
All us work hard. All us are entrepreneurs. All us we had to pull ourselves with identity from underneath a man, pretty much. And you sitting up here taking the one identity we have for ourselves and tearing it up because you feel some kind of way. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong.
And I feel like this, when I talked to OG on the phone and she was saying what she's saying about how the women, you know, a lot of them have children that remind them of their failed relationships, how men don't want to be with them because they argue, how you can't talk on kids. You know, I can't really say much, but you can't talk on kids if you don't have one. I sometimes think maybe OG feels some type of way because a lot of women have the things that she might want. Like, her guy wasn't in the NBA. Some of them are married or have been married. Some of them, everybody has kids. So sometimes I feel like it could be a lot of envy there in some way. And because, these women, she might feel like maybe these women have more than me. Maybe these women think they're better than me or whatever the case is. And it's not none of that. But it's like, come on, like, don't try to come at people for no reason. You know, so I'm gonna start thinking, okay, what are some of the reasons why she might be coming at us like this?
Well, I want to ask you guys this question. I mean, and, you know, I hope that you come back because the dynamic between the two y'all is hilarious. And it's also intense. You know, it's a sister dynamic. And I feel like whenever we get family members on the show together, those are usually some of the most interesting dynamics. So I hope that we see more of the two of you guys on the show or on some other show. And I know I kept y'all way past the 30 minutes I was going to, but I want to ask you guys to plug your businesses too, because I want to make sure that people know what other things you guys have going on.
Okay. Well, I'm Nia Dorsey, so you can follow my Instagram at NIA I have a cheesecake business. It's called _Sweet Addiction 1 _. And I have a swim line called Coconut Swim _ and we're gonna collab together on some things. So with that business, and we're gonna make it one. So you guys stay tuned on that.
And my Instagram name is Noria Dorsey Taggart, and Taggart is TAGGART. I also have a hair care line that I'm coming out, and it's an organic brand that I'm working on. And then you can find that and that information about my brand on Hair Addicts on Instagram as well. And we're also doing the joint venture together. So y'all stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff going on for the ladies and some exercise and stuff. So get
a little
ready.
Sweetwear, a little loungewear stuff.
Okay. And Miss Conversation Piece, what's going on with you? What you got coming up?
It's Miss Conversation Piece. You can reach me on Instagram at MISS Conversation Piece, like a piece of cake. And I got a lot going on. CP Global Media Group. We do marketing and branding solutions for you. I am still doing my journalism. So I have a big red carpet coming up for the NAACP's virtual, of course. You know, dibbling and dabbling in a few other ventures in the financial world. So I'm super excited about like just adding things and skill sets to my life. And I don't have time for beef. So I'm so glad to see you, DJRichieSkye, doing your thing, coming from where we started on a together. I remember when I was scared to lead the panel, you know, when he first started. So we started all the way back there. So we both been elevating, and I thank you for having us on.
No problem, no problem. Y'all heard it here first. You got to hear Nia Dorsey. You got to hear Noria Dorsey. We got Miss Conversation Piece. Skye Squad, we are out.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. That was it. Listen.